Communications technology has advanced very much in the last 200 years. We can now communicate with people at great distances in a matter of seconds. When did you first see someone receive or send a telegram?
I guess when my aunt died in Ohio, I guess my mother got a telegram to send her a telegram. I guess that was the first one I ever seen delivered.
Do you remember what year that was?
Must have been in the 30s, sometime in the 30s.
Do you remember the first time you ever used or saw someone use a telephone?
No, I don't even remember. I guess it must have been when I was working somewhere that had telephone, I guess.
When was the first time you saw a radio or had your own radio?
I think my brother bought a radio sometime when I was back in the 30s. I guess it was in the 30s when my brother bought this old piece of radio. And then after that we bought a full model radio like the TV, but it was just a radio. And oh boy, you had something when you had that.
Do you remember any other radio programs?
I was thinking about that the other day. I know Kate Smith and Amos Nan. My father used to like that. And Arthur Godfrey, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Loman Abner.
Huh?
Loman Abner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fanny Bryce, Baby Snooks.
Yeah.
Right. Jack Benny, Rochester. Right.
That's right.
You remember the Johnson family? I'm violating. Johnson family from Chickazola, Papa Johnson, Mama Johnson, Gorilla Jones.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, we all remember the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, it was all back there.
When was the first time you saw a television set and experienced a television program?
That was in the late 40s, I guess, because people next door to me, I had moved over here. People next door to me had bought a television. And we used to go next door to watch it. I don't even know what we were watching now. Oh gosh, I don't know the program. And we used to go next door, and then I bought a television after that for the kids. I think I used to pay $3 a month or $3 a week or something on the TV.
When was the first time you saw an audio tape recorder?
I don't know, it ain't been too long ago, I guess. I don't know. I don't know whether I even saw a tape recorder. I don't know, I can't remember now. My mind going blank.
How about a videotape recorder?
Video. I don't look at them things too much myself. I don't know. Is that the thing to hook up to the TV now? And the little guy in the wheelchair had one over at the house for it burned. He's got burned up, and I never looked at it. He used to look at it. I looked at it one day with him because he had Miss Daisy's tape, and I looked at that with it. I don't sit still and look at them kind of things.
What newspapers have you read during your life?
I guess I didn't read no newspaper till I come up here, I guess. I don't know, we used to get some kind of a paper down in Virginia, but I don't know what it was. I know I used to like the Daily Timer in Philadelphia. And the Inquirer, we used to get every night. And I think the papers were like 2 cents. And This was the Daily Times was our paper for enough Daily Times. Do you still have that? I don't even know if they still make it.
Philadelphia Daily News.
Oh,
Right.
whatever it was called.
Right, the Daily
It
News.
was like that, the
Right.
Inquirer.
What important stories do you remember from over the years?
I just used to read and forget it. I don't know what it was. Now I can't remember no real story that stuck with me.
Do you read any papers that are for people of color?
Do I read what?
Any newspapers that are for people of color? Or black-owned papers, you remember?
I used to get the black paper full of, I don't forget what it's called now.
Tribune?
Yeah, I used to get that sometime, but no, I never was one to read all that trash. I never did.
What books have you read?
I ain't had time to read nothing much, and my eyes went bad and I can't see how to read now, so I never was much of a reader.
How about magazines?
No, I ain't read the magazines.
What do you think about some of the movies that were produced in the past?
I never was a movie fan either, because every time I went to movies, I went to sleep. I ate my popcorn and I'd be asleep. My sisters-in-law loved the movies, but I never was a movie fan. My daughter used to get so mad at me because she loved the movies, but she'd make me go sometime. I said, Maureen, I don't want to go to the movies. I don't like them. Well, you gonna go with me? Come on, go with me. I couldn't take what was playing.
So you ever been to the movies recently?
I ain't been to a movie since my daughter died, and she been dead 13 years. The last movie I went to see, I think it was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. That's been a long time. I'm shy to be ashamed to tell that, but that was the last movie I saw.
But did you like that movie?
Yeah, I liked
You
it.
liked it?
I did like that one. And she had to make me go to see that, and I didn't want to. She took me to the drive-in movie to see that. So I did like it, though. I really did.
During earlier times and even today, healthcare has always been a problem with black people. Like transportation, some of us were denied good health care. And when we did obtain it, it was often provided in a segregated hospital, clinic, or doctor's office. Was this true in your case?
Well, I think when I was in Virginia, my daughter that died, she was born in Virginia. And I think we was in a room together, the black ones, I think. But my other two children were born up here, and I never had no problem. One thing the white woman asked me that all those black babies, she said colored babies, have straight hair like it, and then it curls up, and I got mad, and I just turned my back. I didn't say nothing to them. One knew why the hair curled up.
So, have you ever had the necessity to use health care?
I always got good health care. We always had a white doctor, and I never heard my mother make no complaints or nothing.
Like the other existing institutions, it is difficult to believe that insurance escaped the effects of racism. In some cases, people of color were able to form their own insurance companies. Can you talk about how people of color were able to get insurance?
Yeah, 'cause I ain't never heard and had no problem with no insurance company, but black or white, I have.
So who did you buy insurance from?
I don't even know what company we had insurance with. know the Metropolitan was one of them. And I don't know.
Black church has been a powerful institution that has influenced much social change in America. It is very apparent that without the black church, very little change, if any, could have taken place. Also, the black church has always been a sanctuary from racism. Tell us about your church. Do you remember the first church you attended, like in Virginia?
Yeah, we were just all black, that's all. When people had their church and we had our church. And we didn't come in contact with the white, that's all.
So what was the choir like?
They didn't have no robes or nothing like they have now, I can tell you that. And they had a little organ that used to have to pump it up some kind of way to play it. And sometimes that didn't even work. And they just sang.
Do you remember your pastor?
I remember when they baptized me, Reverend Cave, and his name was a little short, dark-skinned man. I remember him very well.
What was Sunday school like?
Well, Sunday school, we went to Sunday school, you had to be quiet, and you read your Sunday school lesson, and then the teacher would explain to you what it was about, and different things, and that's all. I remember it was very good. We loved it. We'd play and have a good time after Sunday school. And we'd go into church and we had to be quiet and listen to him and holler and preach and sing, and the older people would get happy and shout all over the place. And then when we played church, we would get happy. Yes, we did.
Do you remember any church picnics or forms of recreation?
Yeah, we used to have our church picnics right on the ground at the church. And in Virginia, that's all we did was, we didn't go to parks and things down there like they do up here now. They used to, our church up here now don't go to parks because it costs too much to go to these parks. I belong to Second Baptist right over here. I've been over there 42 years.
Did your pastors ever visit the sick and needy?
Yeah, always.
What's your favorite Bible passage or verse?
I don't know all of them. I like them all.
Do you have a favorite hymn?
I have a whole lot of them. I like some good singing. I like Jesus keeping me at the cross. All the old time religion. Somebody sang that the other night at prayer meeting, and I enjoyed that old time religion. I ain't heard that since I was a child.
You want to sing it?
I can't sing nothing.
How do you feel about the behavior of young people today?
I think it's horrible. I really do. I don't know whether I guess it's coming from these young mothers that not spending time with the children and not disciplining them enough, and not being with them, leaving them on their own. I think it's horrible. And the way the young black boys are killing each other and all that. We never heard all that kind of carrying on when I was a child.
What do you think caused that? What do you think caused that? Like, where did the breakdown occur, do you think?
Well, I think it's a lot come from the parents, from these young mothers having these children having children. A lot of it come from that, I think.
What do you feel about the behavior of people in general?
Well, some of them are crazy and some of them not, I guess. And some of them just plain crazy, grown and all.
there anything else you'd like to share about the church?
With my church, I just love my church to death. I like the people over there. I love my pastor. And I just love everything about my church. And they really rallied around me when I had the tragedy with the house burning. And they rallied around me. My pastor, he lived in Delaware, and he came up here that night. And he just was beside me all the way. He just stood beside me all the way. I love him today.
Have you ever been involved in art? You never studied art?
I can't draw a straight line. No.
You know any sculptors or painters?
No.
You remember any of the artists of your time? What was courting like when you were young?
All the courting we did was going to church and coming from church. Hello? Yes? Oh, yes. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all right, bring my plate with you next Saturday when you come. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, that's one of the white guys that work on my house. I baked him an apple pie. It was his birthday, so I baked him an apple pie. He just wanted to thank me.
Okay, so you were talking about courting? Like what was courting like when you were young?
Well, that was mostly going to church and coming home from church. The courting was back then that day. That's the only time you saw your boyfriend was on like maybe Saturday evening and Sunday. And then you didn't see him no more a year from no more till the next Saturday because there wasn't no telephones or nothing. So you didn't see him a year from no more till the next Saturday. Maybe on Saturday afternoon you'd see him.
What were the rules for courting when you were young?
Well, you had to be there in the room where your mother and father and all the family was, and you played games or checkers. Or we never was card players. My mother didn't like cards. We never was card players. And just talk, family talk. You was in the room where everybody was. Maybe if it was warm weather, you could sit on the porch.
Do you remember the mothers and fathers of the people you courted?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah. It was always a family friend that you was going out with. And I guess as they got older, they was allowed to go out to, I don't know where they went to movies. There wasn't no movies down there where we was. I don't know where they would go.
Did you have to come in at a certain time?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we would go in by a certain time. In hot weather, we was allowed to play right there in the front yard with my mother and father sitting on the porch. And we could play in the yard right there in front of them.
What time did you have to come in?
I guess around 9:30. It was late then if you stayed out that late.
Did you ever court in a horse and buggy?
No, I never. I left Virginia before I got grown enough to go in the horse and buggy. But my aunts and things, cousins and things, I remember them going out in a horse and buggy, going to different churches or shopping or wherever they would go to see some relative or something. As I said, there wasn't no movies around us to go to.
It has been said that the mark of a gentleman is his manners. It was also said that the mark of a lady was her manners. What manners were expected of a gentleman of your time?
Well, they had to be very polite to your mother and father, and you'd speak very nice to them and come in and you'd introduce them if they didn't know it to mother and father. There wasn't no sitting there whistling for you or nothing like that. You had to come in and meet the family. And you didn't go off somewhere and sit by yourself. You sit in the room with the family.
All the time?
Hmm?
You never had time to yourself?
No, not when, because I was young. I was only 16 when I come to Philadelphia.
So what manners were expected of young ladies in your time?
I guess just to be a lady, that's all. Just certainly not like these kids are now. Just to be nice and watch what you said. Don't say nothing rough. Of course, we didn't talk rough and bad like these kids. I hear these kids going up there the street saying all kinds of things. We never was around that kind of carrying on.
Did men tip their hats to the ladies?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they had to do.
Do you like take off their jackets and lay it down in the mud and stuff?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever go to like the theater or to the academy, like the Nixon Grand or the Faze Theater?
There was no theater around me, honey. First theater I ever been to was in Philadelphia.
What theater was that?
What was the name of it down in South Philadelphia somewhere? Oh, Lord, I forgot the name of it now. We all used to go when we was in our 20s. Oh, Lord, I forgot the name of that theater. We used to have the shows, live shows.
That sounds like the Nixon Grand.
Yeah, I guess
Nixon Grand.
I guess that's what it was.
Mhm.
Nixon Grand.
What kind of live shows did you see?
I don't know, all I knew was jumping and hopping and dancing and going on. I don't know.
Was there any other kind of entertainment?
What, after I come to Philadelphia? Yeah, the movies and we go to movies and go to live shows and go out to eat at little black restaurants. I don't think it was went into white ones, it was just these little black restaurants they used to go to, we did.
Where were the black restaurants at?
Where were they?
Yeah.
All I know was in Philadelphia somewhere, and I don't know where. They used to be on every corner, I think. In the black neighborhoods.
Okay, music, as you know, is a big part of the black culture. Without music, it is possible that our ancestors could have found it harder than it was to survive. Since the African instruments, such as the drum, were forbidden, singing was the only form of music that was permitted. Did you know anything about some of the black singers of your day, like Marian Anderson or Paul Robeson?
Yeah, I knew them since I heard them on the radio, but I never saw them.
How about Nat King Cole and Mahalia Jackson,
Yeah.
Billy Eckstine?
Oh, next time, yeah, I guess I saw him on TV, yeah.
Did you buy their records?
I never bought but one record in my life and lost that when I got home. I don't even know what it was now. I don't know where I lost it before I got home on trial.
What record was that? Was that like a jazz record or what?
It was that old record called Drinking Wine Spoiliosi. I never will forget it.
Yeah, mop, yeah, mop, man.
I lost my record.
1949 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
So who were your favorite musicians? Like, do you remember Scott Joplin or Cab Calloway?
Yeah, I remember Cab Calloway and we used to go up Westchester to home to the dances up there, and Cab Calloway and Fats Wallace and what that other one name? We used to be up there sometimes.
Lionel Hampton?
Yeah, that's who it was, Lime Hampton, yeah. And, other little bands used to be there, but I remember them three.
Who's your favorite singer?
I don't know. I used to like all of them singers and big pop singers and things.
No, that's maybe.
Oh, like Yubi Blake or Ella Fitzgerald?
Yeah, I liked Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah, I liked her.
Bessie Smith?
Who?
Bessie Smith?
Yeah, I like Bessie Smith. Oh, she was a blues singer, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. And my father used to be crazy about her. Bessie Smith. Mm-hmm.
How about Dinah Washington?
Yeah, I liked her.
Sarah Vaughan?
All right.
Alright. What's your favorite kind of music to listen to? What did you listen to when you were young?
I used to like dance music. Yeah, I did. I used to like to go to dances and things like that. Just like all the other young people would do.
What kind of dances did you do?
I never wasn't no really dancer, but I used to try. Used to do what they call it, two-step and the two-step and the foxtrot and whatever else I was doing.
You ever Lindy Hop?
No, I didn't do the Linda Hop. I tell you, I couldn't do many dances.
Did you ever study music?
Yeah.
Do you have any relatives that were professional dancers?
Not exactly what maybe some of my cousins was.
Did you ever see professional dancers like Josephine Baker?
No, none of them shows I used to go to, I guess they were professionals.
You remember Bill Robinson, Bojangles?
Yeah, I remember him. I never saw him in person, but I remember who they are.
How about Alvin Ailey?
I think I know him.
The Will Maston Trio? How about the Step Brothers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember the Nicholas Brothers?
Yeah.
Did you ever go on a hayride?
Yeah, I think we did go on hayrides down Virginia around Halloween time. We used to go on hayride every Sunday, every third Sunday, because we got in the wagon and went on hayride to go into church. That was all the transportation we had.
Did you ever go swimming?
No.
Did you ever play billiards or horseshoes?
No, I never played horseshoes, but my brothers never used to play them, but I could never get the thing to go right.
What kind of,
Played dodgeball and baseball and all that kind of stuff.
did you ever go to amusement parks? Like Woodside Park or Willow Grove Park?
Not till I come to Philadelphia. When I was a child, we didn't go to no parks. There wasn't no parks down there. After I come to Philadelphia, I went to Woodside.
So what was that like? You had rides?
There were rides and eat ice cream and ride the many rides. And that's all I remember. I think was it a spook house in one of them parks? Looked like to me it was something called a spook house in one of them. It scared me to death.
Did you ever go to a rent party?
No, we weren't allowed to go to them. We used to have them down in Virginia, but We never could go there.
How about a house party?
Birthday parties, something like that, where your mother and father and everybody went.
Did you ever crash a party?
Huh?
You ever crash a party?
No.
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 So what went on at some of these parties?
I don't know, because we wasn't allowed to go to too many parties. As I said, if it was a family party, everybody went, so we just played games and played the records on that old Victrola thing you used to wind up. And my mother and father and the other kids' mother and father, they'd be in the kitchen laughing and talking and drinking coffee or whatever, and we'd be in the front room playing these old records and call ourselves dance, and that's all I knew. We used to have a good time.
Do you remember what you and your family used to do on Sundays when you were a child?
We would go to Sunday school, and my mother and father would meet us after Sunday school at church. Then we'd come home and my mother fixed dinner, and we'd have dinner, and then we'd be allowed to go over to the neighbor's house or somewhere till dark, and then we had to be back home by dark. And that was Sunday.
So what do you do now on Sundays?
Go to church, come home, get something to eat, and go back to church.
What kind of foods have you eaten during your life?
I eat all kinds of food. We eat a lot of pork. And in the wintertime, we eat a lot of dried beans. In the summertime, we eat all kinds of vegetables that come out the garden. And it was the pork and chicken, that was the main thing, because we raised that. And beef was very rare, we got that. But it was pork and chicken and fish we had.
One of the things that enabled our people to endure great hardships is our sense of humor. Do you remember any jokes, poems, or songs, or funny stories that you'd like to share with us?
I don't know, my grandmother used to tell some super stories about ghosts and all the noise they would hear and didn't know what it was. And I can't remember them to tell.
Do you remember the Titanic or the signifying monkey?
Hmm?
The Titanic or the signifying monkey?
Mm-mm.
Sports before Jackie Robinson, like most of the other American institutions, were segregated. Although much progress has been considered to be made in American society, much remains to be done. What do you remember about, like, baseball, like when Jackie Robinson crossed the color line?
Well, I remember that black people thought it was good that they had let a black man play baseball. I remember everybody talking about that. About Jackie Robinson.
You remember Roy Campanella? Satchel Paige?
Who?
Satchel Paige?
No, that's my mom. I don't know what they did. I guess I lost track of both the baseball or whatever.
How about any other sports like football or boxing?
I don't know the first thing about football today. I don't know nothing about it. I used to go when my grandson was in high school and all. I used to go to the game, but I still don't know nothing about it. I had it on yesterday. I don't know the first thing about football.
How about boxing? You remember Joe Louis?
Yeah, I remember Joe Louis. Yeah, I remember that very well. My father and brothers loved him to death. I never cared about listening at that on TV or the radio, but they used to listen to him all the time.
Did you, like, watch any other sports or follow any other sports?
I'm not a very sportsman.
What social organizations do you belong to?
I don't belong to nothing right now. I belong to my missionaries in my church, that's all.
Tell us what life was like for you growing up when you were a child, like during the holidays.
Well, we all had fun, what we thought was fun. Christmas and Thanksgiving was a big time for us, and Easter we always got our new outfits for Easter, made over and hand-me-downs or whatever they were for Easter, and of course it was nothing but church on Easter. And Christmas we looked forward to Santa Claus like all the other kids did. Each of us got one little toy apiece, but we was happy with that. And Thanksgiving, the family was just all together, and we all had a big dinner.
What was your favorite holiday?
Christmas, I guess, like all the other kids.
Let's talk about some of the black personalities of note during the past. What did you think about Booker T. Washington?
I thought he was great. I remember we studied better in school, but now I forgot all that too. But I never heard nothing bad about Booker T. Washington.
How about W.E.B. Du Bois?
Who?
Du Bois? You remember Marcus Garvey? Did you ever study him? How about Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yeah, I thought he was a beautiful person.
What did you think about Malcolm X?
I didn't never know what to think about him. I guess he was alright. Yes. Yeah, he was alright.
What do you think about Louis Farrakhan?
It was alright. Good.
How about the Reverend Leon Sullivan?
Yeah, I remember him.
What do you think about some of the black leaders we have today who have been declared our leaders? Even though few of them we voted for. How do you think the black leaders have treated the black community?
Well, some of them do alright, and some of them could do better. Yeah, I don't find too much fault with the black leaders. I'm not a person trying to pick people apart and find fault with them.
Songs that our ancestors sang in church like, I've been buked and I've been scorned. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child and I'm troubled in mind, tells us that they suffered a lot. But even though they were unhappy, they still moved, as they would say, forward, and sang, I shall not be moved. They always tried to do the right thing. What do you think made it possible to go through life with all of those hardships and still hold up their heads proudly and with great dignity?
Well, they had God in their life, and they just leaned on to God all the time for everything. That's all I can see. They did have it hard back then in them days, but God was the only thing that brought them through.
If you could live your life again, what would you do different than what you did before?
I'd stay in school.
What things would you like to see done for a better world tomorrow?
Make these kids go to school and respect themselves and other people too. Because the kids of today don't respect themselves, they don't respect nobody.
else would you say to the young people to help them face like what's
To
out there?
stay in school and to go to church and get some kind of religious training. That would help a lot.
Do you have a special message you'd like to leave for your family?
Well, do I have a special message for my family? To get these young people that are in my family to go to church, to do something right. Because I have some of these grandchildren, I don't believe in going to church, won't go to church. But I try to tell them they need to go to church, and they was all raised in church and Sunday school, but they all just drifted away.
Is there anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about?
I think you covered everything.
Thank you for letting us come into your home and share this information with us and leaving something for the young people at Cheyney's.
I enjoyed having you to come into my home and talk to me. And thank you for coming.